He says he loves you. He shows up for the difficult moments. The chemistry is undeniable. But the second the conversation shifts toward the future, toward a shared bank account, a move-in date, or a forever, something in his eyes shifts. He doesn't just get quiet, he becomes a ghost. This is the commitment pullback, and for many women, it feels like being handed a puzzle with a missing piece. You wonder if you're not enough, if there's someone else, or if he's just not a relationship person. But the truth is almost always deeper and far more complex than simple cold feet. Men who struggle to commit aren't usually running away from you. They are running away from a version of themselves they are terrified to meet. They are trapped in a psychological blueprint where commitment isn't a promise of love, but a contract of confinement. Today, we're going to look past the surface-level excuses and explore the hidden fears that keep a man's heart behind a locked door. We're going to analyze the enmeshment trap, the performance anxiety of forever, and how to tell the difference between a man who is scared and a man who is simply unavailable. To understand why a man treats a serious relationship like a cage, we have to look at his earliest definition of closeness. In many cases, a man who fears commitment grew up with what psychology calls enmeshment. Imagine a child who was responsible for his mother's emotional well-being. Perhaps his father was absent, and he became the surrogate husband, the one who had to listen to her problems, regulate her moods, and sacrifice his own needs to keep her stable. In this environment, love didn't feel like support. It felt like an obligation. It felt like being swallowed whole. When this child becomes a man, his subconscious mind creates a protective barrier. He associates commitment with the loss of his own identity. He believes that if he truly lets you in, he will eventually be required to solve all your problems, manage all your emotions, and lose the ability to say no. To him, staying uncommitted is a survival strategy. It's the only way he knows how to keep himself intact. When you ask for more of his time or more of his heart, he doesn't hear a request for intimacy. He hears a demand for his freedom. This is the avoidant attachment cycle in its purest form. The closer you get, the more he feels the walls closing in, and the more he feels the need to push you away to breathe. There is another quieter reason men stay in the gray area of dating for years: the performance trap. Many men view commitment not as a journey, but as a final exam. They believe that to commit is to sign a contract stating they will be a perfect provider, a perfect emotional support, and a perfect partner, forever. If they aren't 100% sure they can maintain that level of performance for the next 50 years, they won't sign the contract. This is the all-or-nothing mentality. To this man, being 90% sure isn't enough. He is terrified of making a mistake. He is terrified of being the bad guy who breaks a promise later. So, ironically, he breaks your heart now by refusing to promise anything at all. This fear is often rooted in a deep sense of inadequacy. He thinks, as long as we're just seeing each other, I can't fail. But the moment I commit, the stakes become real. And if the stakes are real, I might fail you. I might be revealed as not enough. He stays uncommitted because it keeps him in a state of potential. He would rather be the man who could have been the one, than the man who committed and fell short. We also have to address the impact of the modern world on the male psyche. We live in an era of the paradox of choice. Through social media and dating apps, men are constantly bombarded with the illusion that the perfect fit is just one more swipe away. For a man who is already prone to anxiety about commitment, this creates the one-shot delusion. He believes he only has one shot at choosing a life partner, and if he chooses wrong, his life is over. The optimization mindset is when he treats relationships like he treats a technology purchase. He's waiting for the next model with fewer bugs and more features. The cost of the yes to a commitment phobe, saying yes to you feels like saying no to the rest of the world. He isn't focused on what he is gaining, which is a partner, a future, or a home. He is hyper-focused on what he is giving up, the potential of someone else, somewhere else. This is a form of fear of missing out, or FOMO, that has been weaponized by the ego. By refusing to commit, he is trying to keep all doors open simultaneously. He doesn't realize that by standing in the hallway and refusing to enter any room, he is effectively living in a vacuum. The inverse truth about commitment is that it acts as a mirror. When you truly commit to someone, you are forced to see yourself clearly, the good, the bad, and the ugly. A man who struggles to commit is often a man who is uncomfortable with himself. He can handle the performance of a casual relationship. He can be the fun guy, the cool guy, or the sexy guy for a few nights a week. But a committed partner sees through the mask. A committed partner sees the moments when he's insecure, when he's lazy, when he's afraid. For a man who hasn't done his own shadow work, this level of being seen is terrifying. He runs from commitment because he doesn't want you to find out that he isn't the hero he's been pretending to be. He would rather leave you wondering than have you find out that he is ordinary. The strategy of how to deal with the non-committal man. If you are the partner in this dynamic, you have likely tried everything. You've been patient, you've given him space, you've tried to show him how great life could be together. But the harder you pull, the faster he runs. To break the cycle, you have to stop playing the role he's assigned you. You have to move from persistence to clarity. 1. Stop filling the silence. When a man pulls back, your instinct is to lean in. You text more, you plan more, you try to fix the distance. This is exactly what triggers his enmeshment anxiety. The tactical reframe is to give him exactly what he is asking for, space. But don't do it as a game. Do it to observe. If you stop doing the emotional heavy lifting, does the relationship stand on its own? Or does it collapse? You need to know if you are the only one holding the commitment together. 2. The vision conversation versus the label conversation. Most men who fear commitment react badly to the talk because it feels like a demand for a label. The tactical reframe, instead of asking, "Where is this going?" speak about your own vision for life. Say, "I am at a stage in my life where I am building a partnership and a future. That is the direction I'm moving in." The goal is, you aren't asking for his permission. You are stating your trajectory. This shifts the power. You are no longer waiting for him to choose you. You are informing him of the path you are on, and letting him decide if he has the courage to walk it with you. 3. Set the internal deadline. This is for you, not him. A man who struggles with commitment will take as much time as you give him. If you give him 3 years of gray area, he will take it. The tactical reframe is to decide in your own mind how much longer you are willing to live in uncertainty. Is it 3 months? 6? Once that deadline hits, if he hasn't moved toward you, you must move away. The logic is, you cannot convince a man to want a future. He either values you enough to overcome his fear, or his fear is more important to him than you are. Both are answers. If you are the one listening to this who struggles to commit and recognizing your own reflection, I want to offer you a different perspective. You think that by avoiding commitment, you are protecting your freedom. But look at your life. Are you free? Or are you trapped in a cycle of starting over? Are you actually free or are you lonely? The inverse truth is that commitment is the ultimate form of freedom. When you commit to a craft, you become a master. When you commit to a path, you reach a destination. When you commit to a person, you gain an ally who sees your shadow and stays anyway. Your fear of being swallowed or failing is a ghost from your past. You are no longer that child who had to solve his parents' problems. You are an adult man with the power to set boundaries. You can commit to a woman and still be a man. You can commit and still have a self. In fact, you will never truly find yourself until you have the courage to stand still long enough for someone to really see you. The gray area isn't a safe haven, it's a wasteland where nothing grows. The psychology of commitment isn't about marriage or titles. It's about decision. We live in a world that tries to sell us the idea that we can have everything without choosing anything. But a man who doesn't choose is a man who isn't really living. He is just a passenger in his own life, waiting for fate or circumstance to make the choice for him. If you are dating a man who refuses to commit, remember, ambiguity is a choice. If he isn't saying yes, he is saying no. He's just saying it slowly enough that you won't leave yet. You deserve a yes. You deserve a partner who sees the risk of commitment and decides that you are worth the risk. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is the most common excuse you've heard for a lack of commitment? Let's expose these patterns so we can stop falling for them. If you're ready to look past the gray area and start understanding the deep psychological structures that run your relationships, then subscribe to The Inverse Mind and hit the bell now. We are breaking down the hidden fears so you can build a life of clarity. Thank you for watching, and remember, the truth might be uncomfortable, but it's the only thing that will ever make you free. I'll see you in the next one.